Salutations! Hello! Today we're going to talk about washing young dreadlocks. How long should you wait before giving them their first wash? You start your dreadlock journey, the initial excitement starts to wear off, you sit back, you relax, and then the inevitable new dreadlock irritation starts to set in and you think to yourself, when can I wash these? First, a bit of pretext. Despite the myth, yes you can wash dreadlocks, yes you should wash dreadlocks, and yes, even young dreadlocks. When it comes to washing young dreadlocks, putting in some time before you even begin knotting up your hair can really pay dividends over the first few weeks. And so I really recommend transitioning your hair into a more relaxed washing pattern before you even start the dreadlock process. This is because if you wash your hair every single day, your head gets used to being washed every single day. When you wash your hair, you strip away the oils, your head has to then compensate for that and produce more oils to replenish the ones you stripped away so that your scalp does not become dry and sore. If you wash your hair every single day, has to replenish the oils every single day, creating lots of oils. This gives people the impression that they have to wash their hair every single day, otherwise their hair gets oily. Whereas in fact their hair gets oily because they wash their hair every single day. If you transition very quickly from washing your hair frequently to then have an extended period of no washing, you will find that the oils build up very quickly in large quantities, and this can become very annoying and uncomfortable. If you take the time to train your scalp beforehand, get it used to being washed slightly less often, it's going to make those first few weeks a lot easier to deal with. There's still going to be some irritation. The irritation is not completely avoidable because the scalp conditions are still changed when you go from regular hair to dreadlocks, in that the oil gets trapped between the scalp and where the knotted part starts, but you will find it a lot easier to deal with if you've already gotten your head used to a more relaxed washing pattern. How long you wait before the starting of your dreadlocks in the first wash really depends upon whom you ask. Some will say wash the hair straight away, others will recommend waiting 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. I've even seen recommendations of up to 8 weeks. There is a balance that needs to be struck. Waiting between starting the dreads and their first wash will give the hair more time to interact, form knots, and strengthen. The more knots there are, the stronger they are, and therefore the less likely they will be to wash straight out. However, if you hold off on the washing for too long, you can find that the hair just gets too oily. Oily, greasy hair does not knot up as well as clean hair. The hairs will either just slip past each other, they're lubricated by the oils, it can soften existing knots, and even though it can make the dreadlocks look like they're more together, what is really happening is loose hairs are kind of getting held together with the oil and the grease, and it's just not what you want to be happening. So you have to balance up, waiting a little while, give the new dreadlocks some time to settle, let the hairs interact, let some more knots form. Got to balance that against not letting the hair get too greasy, too oily, get to the point where you're doing more harm than good. Ultimately, how long you wait before the first wash is going to be entirely up to you. You're the only one that's going to be able to decide whether it's just getting too oily and irritating and they just need to be washed. If it's getting to that point, then it's likely that waiting any extra time is not going to be beneficial for them anyway. My recommendation is to wait around 5 days. Most people tend to wash their dreadlocks somewhere between every 3rd and every 7th day anyway, so 5 days is a nice middle ground there. If you want to wait a little bit longer, wait 7 days, wait a week before the first wash, give the new dreads a little bit longer to settle, that's fine. That may reduce the likelihood that they wash out. However, personally, I really wouldn't recommend waiting much longer than that. Waiting any longer than that is just going to end up with the hairs getting greasier and greasier. If they're not strong enough after 7 days, it's unlikely that they'll be strong enough after 14, 21 days. They'd just be greasier and oilier. And when you did finally come around to wash them and you stripped away the oils and the grease, they would have still fallen back. After the first wash, you can then begin to wash the dreadlocks as you wish. You can get your hair into a regular washing pattern. It will take some time for the oils to balance, even if you have trained your scalp beforehand. And that is because the conditions on your scalp are going to be different with dreadlocked hair when compared to regular hair. Washing young dreadlocks will make them look looser, will make them look frizzier, will make them look messier, but that's because while dreadlocks are young, they are loose, they are frizzy, they are messy. Refraining from washing just to avoid the loose, frizzy messiness just leads to the hair getting gunked up with oil and grease, and while that may make them look like they're more together, it may stick the loose hairs in. Hairs that are stuck down are not knotted in, they're not locked up, and when you do finally come around to washing the hair, when you do finally come around to stripping away the oils, all those hairs will fall back loose, frizzy, messy messy again. It's recommended to keep the hair clean. Be aware that the messy, frizzy look is part of the process. It is normal, it is expected. It is still better to keep them clean. The clean hairs will knot easier and faster than if they're left to get greasy and oily. Keeping the hair clean in a regular washing pattern will help you get through the messy stage faster. It will allow the hairs to knot and lock up, let the dreadlocks mature, and once the dreadlocks are locked up, they're locked for life. You only have to get through the messy stage once. That was my video on when to wash new dreadlocks. If you have any questions, comments, or queries regarding when to wash new dreadlocks, or dreadlocks in general, you can either leave your questions in the form of a comment in the comment section below, or you can tweet me at twitter.com/lazy_dreads. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, useful, informative, you can click the thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos from me in the future, you can of course subscribe. And of course, if you're looking for dreadlocks tips, guides, information, help, you can as always find all my stuff on lazydreads.com. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Farewell!